Peace and love, grand rising. How are you, Crowllies? I hope everything is going good for you guys. This is a pop up live stream. All of my readings are timeless for whenever you watch them, tap into them, whether it's live stream or replay. You will have messages here for you. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. This is what you need to know messages, urgent messages from your spirit guides and your ancestors specifically. Let's see what's going on for you guys. All right. So the first thing that we're going to tap into is going to be what's coming in next. All right. If they give us a time frame, I'll let you know. Sometimes your spiritual team or your ancestors don't give you time frames, just because time works differently for them versus for us. Okay, so there are some times where when we mention divine timing, when we mention things are going to happen, how it's supposed to unfold or when it's supposed to unfold, sometimes the spirit realm's time clock is different than ours, right? So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. What's coming in next? Okay, they gave us some. I'm just doing a pre-shuffle real quick, and for those of you watching the replay, this will be the time for you to go to your timestamp. It will just work faster that way. Let me grab my dice. All right, how many messages do they need? All right, that's a 7. All right, 7. Let's see. 7 cards. Angel number 222 is here. That could be significant. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Kitchen witchery in the bottom of the deck. Is this you or whoever you're dealing with? Okay, let's see. All right. All right, male deity. There's a lot of things unseen here. That's the first thing I'm seeing. So your spiritual team and your ancestors want you to know there are things that they can see that's taking place that you can't see. All right. So strengthening your communication with your spiritual team at this time is a must. It has to happen. Make time to talk to your ancestors. Make time to talk to your spiritual team. If you guys are working with a particular deity, there's a deity offering that is needed, especially if you guys work with a male deity or a masculine energy deity, angel number 333. 3 could be significant for that specific deity as a number, or when they connect with you, there's a deity that either uses 2s or 3s to communicate with you. Okay, so make sure that you leave your offering, especially if that message really applies to you. There's something here in regards to an enemy. This is a warning. This is ancestral alert. Okay, an enemy is about to come forth to apologize to you. So somebody that is, doesn't think of you in your in terms of for good things to happen for you, or this is someone that would have alternative motives, ulterior motives. I'm seeing this energy of someone that doesn't wish the best for you, or someone that will try to basically mess things up for you, not do things in your favor. Okay, there's an enemy here. So your spiritual team and your ancestors are identifying this person as an enemy of yours. Okay, So that being said, this is not your friend, this is not a family member, this is just an enemy of yours, okay? So that means that they don't have any types of good intentions towards you. And this is who you're being alerted about. This person is about to apologize to you, okay? So if you get an apology from someone, take note into consideration that your ancestors called them an enemy, okay? So whoever this person is, they're going to come towards you. They're going to apologize about something. Now, I will kind of see based off of like how the messages build up on, what this person is apologizing for. But that's the first thing I'm seeing. This enemy, this is how they're referencing them. This enemy is about to apologize to you to clear some sort of karma on their behalf, meaning they could have taken some sort of action, some sort of behavior. They may have done something that they have some sort of karmic repercussions. And in order to clear that, they need to apologize to you. They need to come clean. So if somebody apologizes to you, your ancestors called them an enemy of yours. Remember that, okay? Let's see. All right, another warning, this person is holding you back from your destiny. All right. They're giving you the green light for something. I said something about kitchen witchery and stuff like that. So for those of you that practice herbal medicine, okay, kitchen witchery is basically herbs, okay. Herbal medicine in comparison to root work, which is more voodoo. Herbal medicine meaning tinctures, meaning specific types of herbs in your food, or specific types of um, holistic herbs, not just for physical well-being properties, but spiritual properties, like magical properties. This is what kitchen witchery is. Some of you guys, I'm seeing rock salt, pink Himalayan salt, sea salt will be beneficial for you guys right now, especially for those of you that partake in container magic, jar spells, for grounding purposes, to purify your energy. I'm also seeing to absorb negative energy. So that will be great right now for you guys. So for you to have a bowl of salt in a specific heavy traffic area, for you to have a container of, like, maybe you need to re-up on your bath salts, right? Whatever your cleansing herbs, your cleansing baths, you may need to prepare some more to help you either to ground, to purify your energy, or for defense purposes to absorb negative energy. You can do this, you can refresh it like every week or every month, depending on how heavy the energy is. If it's a bowl of salts that you're going to utilize, let's say in your home or in your office area, definitely put it in a container, um, in a mug, in a cup, or something like that, or not necessarily a bowl, because if it's your office space, you want to make sure that, especially for those of you that are discreet, you want to make sure that it is in a place that is non-conspicuous, okay? Not anybody would really look there, or not anybody would touch it, right? So container magic spells, they want to talk to you about that. So if you've already done some sort of jar spell or container magic spell, they're referencing that you need to work on grounding, you need to work on absorbing negative energy or purifying something. And for those of you that haven't done that, maybe you need to add that to your spiritual practice, in your spiritual regimen, okay? I'm seeing spiritual health maintenance. Okay. They're letting you know there are no more lingering spiritual attachments. If you guys have been facing issues with, energetic entanglements, energetic cords, energetic manipulation, uh, energy siphoning, um, being energetically depleted, right? Spiritual psychosis, or spiritual fog, okay, for your gifts, psychic fog, all right? There's no more lingering spiritual attachments. You are in your own energy, okay? So you're 100% in your own energy and have your power back. So if you called back your power, you're in your own power. No one's manipulating your energy. No one's like casting spells or sending negative energies. Angel number 1010. That came to a close. That came to like a finito type situation. So, no, they're saying there's no external spiritual manipulation in terms of your spiritual essence and your energy. Okay. They do want to, going back to your spiritual health maintenance, baby, you need to work on your crown chakra. You need to cleanse your crown chakra. Whenever you do a cleansing bath, right? Whether you do your spiritual bath soak and you're soaking in the tub, right? Some of you guys do a spiritual wash, or you wash with a spiritual soap, or you wash with a spiritual scrub that you make yourself, or whatever that is, right? Make sure whichever one that you do, after you do that, or if you do your head cleanse and you wash your hair and stuff like that, and you put your spiritual colognes on afterwards, wrap your crown chakra. Okay. Whenever you do your spiritual baths, you want to make sure that you do it at a time that you are not going to go back outside. So the best time for you to do a spiritual bath, anything to wash things away, you do it when the sun is setting, the sun is going down, right? Or nighttime, right? So that means you're is away, pushing away. Angel number 1133. All right, we need to master that. When we are bringing in and we are attracting, you need to bathe, you need to do your shower, or you need to do your maintenance in the morning when the sun is rising. Angel number 1144. Okay. And always make sure that whenever you wash your head, or whenever you do a spiritual bath where you dip your whole body in and you dip your head, angel number 1155, okay, make sure that you wrap your head afterwards. Air drying and pat drying is the best, okay? Especially like you will do a pat dry if you know I do a pat dry in the winter months because you don't want to get sick because you're wet, right? Or you can do an air dry. You can have your fan on or whatever, and you can work on oiling up yourself and things of that nature in the in between time. All right, you can also invest in, instead of a white towel, you can invest in a white robe. All right. And that will help you for the air drying in between times, so that you can lounge around in the white robe, and wrap your head still. Okay. You do need to wrap your head. Um, for those of you that need to wash your crown, right, your head, your ori, you can do a spiritual rinse. Okay. So, but make sure that when you're washing your hair in cold water. Cold water clears the energy, it resets the energy. It helps kind of like ground you, bounce back, especially for Reiki practitioners. We do that a lot in between sessions, in between clients, where we wash our hands with cold water to make sure that we don't keep a certain type of energy with us, or we don't transfer energies in between clients. All right. Angel number 1333. 333 again. Okay. So cleanse any type of energy off of you that could be confusing you. That could be a form of manipulation and things of that nature. That will be the best time for you to cleanse. So if you feel like things are confusing, there's misinterpretations, there's miscommunications, there's cross lines, whatever that may be, make sure that you are cleansing any type of confusion that could even be casted onto you through spell work, or could just be like in the air, like the energy's kind of thick, or there's some planets transiting and the energy's kind of wonky, things of that nature. These are spiritual maintenance practices that you can add to your regimen to help you. Okay. So they gave you the green light. What did they give you the green light for? Your ancestors are saying it's time to let someone go. Your frequency right now is actually leveling up. and it's time for you to continue. Like I said, there's somebody that's holding you back, and whether or not they apologize to you or whether or not they do whatever they need to do to clear their karma, this person has been holding you back. All right. They've been holding you back from your destined mission, your spiritual mission, and they've been holding you back from your destiny, right? Your destined path, what you're supposed to do next. Your ancestors also want you to know there could have been some sort of spells or spell work that was casted based off of someone learning spell work or witchcraft or something like that um, through YouTube. Okay, so somebody could have been, scrolling through YouTube or whatever, found a spell and did that spell. Now, this could be you or this could be someone else, but they are referencing this, right? So making sure that you fact check wherever you're learning how to do your rituals and things of that nature, the repercussions of those said rituals, the way that you can protect yourself after using that ritual or cleanse yourself after using that ritual, if it's justifiable, things of that nature. Okay, make sure that you are fact checking with the things that you are doing or the things that could impact you from what you want to do moving forward. Okay. All right. That being said, let's see. All right. What your current energy is, what's going on. Let's tap into the what's the vibe. Give it a good pre-shuffle and we can jump in. All right, I see the number 12. All right, wow, this fell right on top of enemy that's about to apologize to you. So this is why they're an enemy. This person's envious of you. They're envious of what you have. They're envious of your energy. They're envious of something, all right? And it has to do with you. But this person's energy is no longer like entangled in yours. Okay. So would I say that this is somebody that you talk to every single day? No. Would I say, this is someone that you may have separated from, you kept your distance from, you have some sort of boundaries with? Yes. Okay. This is the person that I'm talking about. That being said, this said person is someone that, if they're not competing with you, let's say out loud, right? They could be competing with you in silence. This could be someone that is trying to do the same thing at work as you, or trying to get the same type of romantic connection as you, or try to mimic who you are in terms of your spiritual practices or in terms of your belief system or in terms of your hobbies or in terms of what you're posting or what you're wearing or something like that, right? This is like this competitive nature. Like, I can do that better, that looks better on me, or that person will be better with me, or whatever that is, right? Or that job belongs to me and not them, right? This person is like that just because they're just upset. All right. They could be upset about life. They could be upset about their circumstances or whatever. But this is why this person is coming out that way. But you're in your own power. You are in your energy. So that person doing things like that is not necessarily affecting you because you cut the energy, right? All right, let's see what else came up here. We have love affair. All right. I do feel like if there was a third party situation, and let's say that third party did something wrong, it could be that third party that's coming up to you and clarifying something and apologizing to you because they shouldn't have done something or whatever. If it's not that circumstance, then what I'm seeing here is if someone, let's say, cheated on you, if someone betrayed you, if they lied to you, if they basically hurt you to the point of messing up their own karma, it could be this person that, let's say on the down low, they were your enemy, but your ancestors are basically like waving the flag like, yo, this is an enemy and you need to know that you need to keep this person away from you. All right. We have drowning in the reverse. So I don't feel like you've hit your rock bottom. All right. You're not overextending your energy. Your ancestors is basically saying, to remain grounded, you need to work with more salts. Okay. Um, and because I saw that like crown chakra is kind of blocked and stuff like that, you want to make sure that instead of eating the salt, you're bathing in the salt. You're washing with the salt. Okay. The salt is outside of your body, not inside of your body. That's what I'm seeing here. All right. That's gonna help you. Okay. We have wishful thinking, second chance. I do feel like, again, with that green light, I feel like there's something happening here. Um, Maybe like a redo type of situation that's gonna, come around for you. A wish come true, right? You wish for something, you wish for you to be able to do something over, or you wished for something to work out for you, right? I'm seeing a second chance here. So you're gonna have a second chance to do something over again to fix a mistake. All right. Some of you guys, you're going to be very nostalgic. That nostalgia should be used as reflection, all right, not as judgment. And then we have puzzled in the reverse. Okay. I feel like you left out of like that confusing state. All right. That energy of like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know what to do next. What should I do with this situation? That confusion is gone. All right. I do feel like at some point in time that was a projected energy again from that enemy. Okay. When people project energy, they can project it based off of their own emotions, so maybe you need to incorporate a grounding ritual for yourself. All right. At least once a week or once a day or whatever works for you in your schedule. All right. Especially when you are overwhelmed about certain things. All right. Chaos is in the reverse here. I do feel like there is a deity that's helping you to take away, like push away any type of disaster. Again, with this enemy, they were wishing on your downfall, but I don't feel like that's going to happen, right? I feel like this person has to learn their lesson with you, right? By showing up and apologizing, right? And to apologize means that you have to admit that you were wrong. So that is significant too. And we have hopeless in the reverse. Okay. So I do feel like, again, um, for those of you that were dealing with low vibing emotions, okay, low vibing emotions are like suicidal thoughts, negative self talk, depression, anxiety, just not feeling good in your body, not feeling good mentally, not feeling good emotionally, spiritually dragging, right? I do feel like that is shifting because there's a deity here helping you. All right. Yeah, there is a deity helping you, and that's the current energy. We have paranoid, we have exhausted, glowing up is in the reverse. Again, I told you, longing. I told you that there's an issue here with someone stunting your growth. That could be spiritual, that could be emotionally, that could be in your healing journey. Okay. We'll do one more. Boundaries in the reverse. Yeah. So I will say that the current energy is you need to work on your boundaries. Your boundaries are down. Your energetic shield was down. This is why all these things were happening. Um, I don't feel like anyone's trying to disrespect you, but it kind of felt that way. It's almost like your energy felt vulnerable. Your energy felt, challenged, right? Or oppressed, right? Uh, and there's an issue here with you not defending yourself, right? Defending yourself. And that is what's stopping the glow up, right? The new opportunities are not presenting themselves if you're still stuck in some sort of pattern. You're getting burnt out. you feeling, worthless or empty inside, you worrying about what's going to happen next, or you're being too cautious about, what to do next, or feeling too guarded so you don't allow opportunities to come in. And your ancestors are saying, like, this is your current energy right now. In order to get out of that energy, you need a grounding ritual, you need a spiritual maintenance practice in terms of cleansing, making sure that you have these particular, spiritual tools, spiritual resources that will help you to continue to level up, right? And that also means that you also have to be comfortable with getting apologies from people and not letting them back in. Sometimes you won't get apologies, right? But it looks like whatever deity you're working with, or whatever deity is in your spiritual court, does have your back. They do have your back, right? And for some of you guys, it is a male deity, right? If you guys want more details on one-on-one session to see who that deity is, you can contact me at spiritualistboutique.com and we can go ahead and do an in-depth reading. I'm going to go ahead and move on to your healing messages to see what's going on here in regards to your healing messages. All right, we have 7. No, actually, yeah. All right. Let's see what's going on here for their healing messages. You won't believe it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Apology. That's why I said you won't believe it. Apology. So yeah, that's 2 confirmations of an apology here. Definitely. Okay, toxic person. You're healing from a toxic person. All right. Your spiritual team is advising you right now to keep things cordial. All right. You need to completely sever contact with this particular individual. So even when this person comes in and they apologize or whatever, with the 2 elements of apology, they may apologize for 2 different things, or they may apologize twice. Okay. Or this could be the second time that they're coming around to apologize to you. I'm just seeing like this person is a toxic person. And even if they give you the apology, that doesn't mean that you have to accept them back into your life, with the boundaries down. Yeah, sometimes you could be overguarded, but this is not the time to have your boundaries down, is what your ancestors and your spiritual team is saying. You need to completely sever contact with this individual. That means that you cannot have them texting and calling you or messaging you through a social media app, or them trying to contact you through a friend of a friend or a family member. No, there's no more contact. There's no more back and forth. There's no more accepting the friend request. There's no more you looking at my social medias. There's no more let's have small chats, small conversation, let's catch up. No, that's it. No more. All right. This is a toxic person. And I'm not just saying, oh, I'm pointing the finger at them and saying, oh, you're toxic, right? No, this person is toxic to you. Okay. Because just because one person is toxic to you doesn't mean that they're toxic to the next person, right? That being said, this person is selectively being toxic in terms of the connection that the both of you guys have. All right. All right. For some of you guys, you could be dealing with a healing soulmate. All right. This is the situation that was being prolonged. Okay. Usually the healing soulmate comes in a timely manner, divine timing, organized by the creator and source. Okay. Healing soulmates are the type of soulmate connections that provide you with life learning lessons. They usually teach you what you need to learn to move on up, right? Again, the glow up was in the reverse. There's something delayed here in terms of your destined path. And I feel like it's that toxic person that was holding you back. All right. We have the 13 types of shadow attributes, and this one is the emotionally unstable monster. So you're dealing with someone that's not emotionally stable. You're dealing with this person that doesn't allow you to emotionally regulate, or to clear your like emotional baggage, basically. So this person basically comes in and they either use emotional manipulation, which is toxic, or they push on their emotional baggage, projection wise, energetic wise, onto you, making you claim it as your own. Okay. The characteristics of this said person could be moody, weepy, manipulative, over emotional, melodramatic. I'm seeing impulsive and moody, heavy. All right. They're changeable. So they're like always evolving in how like they present themselves. Okay. The root cause of this person being in the shadow attribute of the emotionally unstable monster is feelings of being unlovable, powerless, or reacting to unresolved emotional pain. And that's toxic because that means that this person doesn't heal from anything. They keep moving on and keep moving on and keep moving on, and they keep changing and adapting to whatever else they're experiencing. But it's toxic because they do not address emotional baggage. They do not address, they don't take emotional accountability for certain things. They would play the blame game instead. They'll manipulate how they're feeling, or perhaps how you're feeling, to favor them. And that's toxic, right? All right, we have vigor here. We have karma cleared. All right. If you were asking if you have some sort of karma or anything like that, and that wasn't really clear for you, there wasn't any clarity, you're karmic debt free. Your karma is cleared. But this person wants to apologize to you so that way their karma can be cleared. Does that make sense? Right? You need to start some shadow work. All right. And the universe is actually responding to how you feel. So if you have any type of lingering, old, stagnant emotions about certain people that you may have already let go of, that could be the tie between the both of you guys. And that is why they keep coming back around, or that is why they feel the need to keep making, what is that called? Their presence known. Okay. So address your feelings when you're doing shadow work, practice pointing out your shadow attributes, spot your inner shadow that is within you. Okay. So any feelings that are coming up that, again, with the depression or the anxiety, or feeling closed in, energetically vulnerable, you don't want to talk to people, whatever that may be, you need to figure out where the root cause of it is, what that feeling is, and heal that feeling. All right. Because that's what I'm seeing here. We're going to shift into your messages about your spiritual assistance. And we're going to see what spiritual assistance you have at this time. Let's see what comes out for you guys. Oh, look at that. One. All right, just one card. And I'm going to take this one. We have Oya. All right. So Oya, and this is the protection card. Okay, so you have a spirit guide. So some of you is Oya. For the others of you is a male deity, right? Or a deity of rain and lightning. Okay. For those of you that work with elemental spirits and energies, okay. Yeah, again with the herbs, okay, because that's very significant. So there's something about grinding up herbs, and this is a very like kitchen witchery thing to have. Like, so grinding up herbs and preparing baths and stuff like that, that could be very beneficial for you at this time. For those of you that you're dealing with, like, let's say, bad decisions, continuous cycles, living in the moment for the thrill of it, for those of you breaking addictions and things of that nature, you're being protected at this time for that same purpose, right? Your spirit guide message specifically has to deal with like paying attention to omens. Now, we do know that you are protected because that is coming out. There is protection here from that's the spiritual assistance. Your spiritual assistance is protection. All right. So you are being protected at this time. So if you felt like a little weary, a little worried about something, you didn't know if, you know, things were going to go in your favor, right? I do see protection here, which is a good thing. All right. The other thing that I'm seeing is that when it comes to Oya, some of you guys will have omens of storms, tornadoes, lightnings, fire, again, rain. All right. Oya means wind. All right. Specifically, wind warrior goddess. All right. So if you guys are really connected to the wind right now, the breeze, just breath work and things of that nature, that's where that's coming from. All right. She's also known as the great mother of witches. She comes to you when you feel like you need to be protected. This might be when you are trying to, protect yourself or establish your business or protect your business, which might be riding through, a choppy time, right? This could also be financial. So remember, the storm will pass, though, right? So you are protected, everything's fine. For those of you that you work with Oshun, if you were to work with Oya, make sure that you keep Oya and Oshun in separate altars because there was a rivalry there between Oya and Oshun. This does not mean that you cannot work with both. You can work with both, but out of respect for both, you do not keep them on the same altar and you do not keep them in the same room. Okay? If Oya is calling to you, you would see these different types of, omens, right? It's almost like knowing, like being able to see the energy shift and knowing exactly what that energy is, right? So again, a few days ago there was rain, so her energy was here. I would say less than a week ago. So less than a week ago, you may have gotten protected from something, or protection was being washed over you in regards to something. Okay, so think back what happened in the past, let's say 6 to 7 days from now, past tense, not moving forward, right? That's what I'm seeing here in regards to your assistance. You are also being assisted to create things. All right. So you're being assisted in terms of your creativity, but also creating things with your hands. This could be creating recipes, creating your spiritual baths. This can be um, creating medicine, whatever this is, each and every one of you is going to be different. Okay. Moving into how are you developing your spiritual gifts? Okay. What types of gifts are you developing and things of that nature? All right. We're going to use the tattoo tarot for that and see what comes out for you. All right. That's 6. All right. 6 messages. Developing spiritual gifts. All right. The 3 of coins is in the reverse. Do I feel like you're developing your spiritual gifts because of someone helping you? No. If you're developing your spiritual gifts, I feel like this is like in a private setting. okay, with the Three of Coins in the reverse. So I don't feel like you're working with anybody else or anybody else is helping you or your spiritual gifts is developing through like in encountering, engaging, or networking with other people. Okay, so I do feel like this is more in a private setting for your gifts. Okay, the Nine of Cups. Some of you guys, I feel like you're going to be really content with the spiritual gift development that you have. You may be unlocking a spiritual gift that you're really excited about, or you're really like, I feel like it's going to satisfy you somehow. Okay, it's going to be like a wish fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. So you were wishing for this type of spiritual gift to finally unlock, and now it's unlocking. For some of you guys, you could have been developing this for the past 7 to 9 months. The Seven of Cups is here. I do feel like there is a handful, a variety of spiritual gifts that are unlocking for you and developing at the same time. With the Cups energy, I do feel like there's a lot of fluidity in terms of the spiritual gifts that you are developing right now. But because there's a variety, I feel like one of them is like you're going to be able to notice, like, okay, when you're in a private setting, you're going to notice, ooh, I think this is that gift, right? And then for others of you, it's going to be like, oh, I'm noticing this gift, and a few other ones, but I'm feeling one more than the other, okay? From what I'm seeing. So you have a lot of different varieties in terms of spiritual gifts that are opening up. So make sure that you are, dedicating time to practice each and every one of those gifts so you can master them. We have the Knight of Wands. One of these gifts are going to help you to manifest, okay? I do feel like with the Knight of Wands, this is like, make sure like your spiritual downloads are going to be coming in very quickly. Some of you guys are going to be able to channel messages, and you will feel like heat. You will feel hot. Some of you guys can feel when there is a masculine energy presence around you, a spiritual masculine energy presence, with whether it's an ancestor, a spirit guide, or a deity like a Orisha or something like that, like a spirit, someone from your spiritual court. You're going to be able to channel through your skin feeling hot. I also see like your third eye is going to be very like on point. You're going to be able to channel not just in a private setting, but like on the go as well. All right, the Hangman. There's going to be like a different shift in terms of how you see things with your spiritual gifts. So let's say you see something one way. With your spiritual gift, you'll be able to see a variety of different circumstances based off of that one gift. So whenever I channel, and let's say in the mundane world, when regular people see a cop car, they would think, oh, there's something going on in the area. There's a cop, around. Whenever I see a cop spiritually, then I know that my ancestors are, there's backup, right? My ancestors are coming through. There's something going on that my ancestors have to pull up on to address the situation before it gets out of control, right? So for each and every one of you, you have your like spiritual omens or your spiritual downloads that are in code. So making sure that you are writing those things down, because you have different gifts here. You have to figure out, which one is which. Like, oh, is this my, let's say, my spiritual telepathy, right? Is this my spiritual telepathy? Is this, the person that I usually communicate through telepathic communication? We don't have to be in the same room. I don't even have to be awake, right? I can do it when I'm asleep. I can do it when I'm awake. I can communicate with this person from afar. This person sends me images. This person sends me memories. This person sends me emotions, whatever. I can feel this person. Telepathy. It can be clairsentience, meaning you have to be in the vicinity of the person to feel their energy, or you have to be in the room to feel the energy, or you have to hold an object to feel the energy, right? For others of you, being able to remote view, being able to be in one room and see, the inside of a house, the inside of an environment, um, what someone is going through when they're miles and miles and miles away, right? There's something here that you're looking at from a whole completely different perspective. This could be your astral realm, your dreams, right? You're seeing it from a different perspective. You're getting the downloads differently. Um, let's see. We have judgment here. So with your spiritual gifts developing, I do feel like you're able to um, see things from a whole different perspective, especially if something was a little scary to you at some point in time with your spiritual gifts, with the Two of Coins. You had to kind of balance them out. When it comes to your spiritual gifts that are developing, I feel like there's like a renewal. So what you could be experiencing is like a rebirth or a renewal of one of your spiritual gifts. And with that renewal comes like you're going to be able to utilize it differently, right? Some of you guys are rejuvenating right now, all right? You're being called to start new things, all right? And if you're being called to start new things in regards to developing your spiritual gifts, that means like if you are practicing your spiritual gifts by meditating, try something else, right? If you've done meditation to enhance your spiritual gifts or your spiritual sight, then perhaps trying like guided meditations. If you've done guided meditations, then trying hypnosis. If you're not really into hypnosis, then you could definitely do what is called life regressions or some sort of regression where like you're still in a conscious state, but you can dive deeper into like, let's say, developing your spiritual gifts or identifying your spiritual gifts and stuff like that, right? For those of you, let's say, you're clairvoyant of some sort, so you are some sort of clair, right? Clairvoyance is just the umbrella term for all the clairs, the clairsentient and the claircognizance and all the clairs. Okay, so clairvoyant. If you're a clairvoyant of some sort, right? The umbrella term. I will say, like, if you flip cards or you're into rooms or you're into bone throwing or cowrie shells or um, charms or anything like that, right? I will say try a different strategy, right? So if you've been using tarot, stop using tarot and use oracle cards. If you've been using tarot and oracle cards, shift gears into, let's say, cowrie shells or sand scrying or water scrying or candle wax reading, something like that. But I'm talking to someone that is practicing their gifts. I'm not talking about you getting readings from someone, okay? I'm talking about you mastering your own gifts, right? So if you are someone that as you're developing your spiritual gifts, yes, you may watch these readings, or yes, you may have your reader, on call, or you may have your local, spiritual advisor or something like that, right? You want to make sure that you are also trusting your own intuition and you're building your own intuition. And so you want to familiarize yourself with your own spiritual discernment tool, okay? Whatever that may be, whether it be, again, crystals, cowries, shells, bones, candle wax, water, mirror scrying, reading sand, touching things, holding on to it, and feeling the energy of it, whatever it may be. Make sure that you're practicing different types to figure out what is best for you, because I do see a variety, right? There's a variety of ways for you to get downloads. So you need to familiarize yourself with the variety of ways, right? And then write them down and journal about it, because that's what I'm seeing here. Okay. For those of you that are spiritual advisors, right? Spiritual teachers, spiritual gurus, spiritual shamans. I do feel like this is time with your spiritual gifts that are developing right now. You're about to hit a promotion, meaning you're about to get a variety of gifts, and one of those gifts are going to unlock that gives you that high priestess, high priest energy. Okay. Um, what else am I seeing here? Okay. This could have been delayed. All right. There could have been some sacrifices that needed to be made, some decisions that were put on hold in order to develop your spiritual gifts. Okay. This again could have felt like that restriction, right? You felt restrained in your spiritual gifts somehow, some way, or bound, like your spiritual gifts felt kind of like limited, like it wasn't going past a certain, level, right? Or frequency, um, in terms of the development of your spiritual gifts, okay? So, yes, they are saying that there was a temporary delay. It, something in terms of like something in your spiritual gifts that weren't unable to go forward or move forward, right? This may even have something to do with, your rejection triggers and trauma, or some sort of betrayal that you experienced that kind of like closed your gifts a little bit, right? You became guarded. So when you're guarded and you're closed off, it's hard for you to receive your spiritual downloads because you're not open. You're not open to the universe. You're not spiritually, like, your radar is not spiritually open to pick up what's going on because you're trying to protect yourself and you're closing yourself off. Okay. The other thing that I'm seeing here is that when we talked about, like, you're not really going through these things, your spiritual gifts and stuff like that, out in the open in public and stuff like that, right? Um, I am seeing, right, maybe some of you guys didn't have, let's say, the funding, right? Maybe you didn't have the funding to invest in these spiritual tools. Maybe you didn't have the money for that deck. Maybe you didn't have the money to, get that spiritual reading to figure out, who's your head Orisha, or how to work with your Orishas, or how to work with your spiritual core, or how to set up your ancestor altar, um, or what baths to do for yourself, right? What are your spiritual taboos and things of that nature? Some of you guys may had a lack of funding, and that was the delay, right? It negatively impacted you because you didn't have, a high quality of something, maybe a high quality of divination tools, a high quality of spiritual baths and spiritual colognes, spiritual waters, spiritual protection amulets, and spiritual regalia, things of that nature. Okay. Some of you guys, it might just have been, it was hard for you to master some of these spiritual gifts, right? Um, it required skill, it required accomplishment. How could you accomplish things if you didn't have the right teacher? How could you accomplish things if you didn't have the money or the funds to be able to invest spiritually and physically in these things, right? So a lot of these things are factors of why, it took so long for these a variety of these spiritual gifts to start unlocking. Um, I'm also seeing, they're letting me know that these spiritual gifts are also going to shift things in regards to your money flow, the money coming in, money coming out, and you obtaining money in order to survive. It's shifting that, okay? I'm also seeing like the energy fluctuations that you're going to be going through in the next 3 to 6 months, as well as the next upcoming 2 years. It's because of your spiritual gifts that are developing right now, okay? I do see that there's going to be ongoing work for your spiritual gifts that develop. All right. Some of you guys are going to be launching a business, launching an enterprise, for specifically for those of you, again, you're getting that promotion spiritually, high priestess, high priest energy. And so the small business or the spiritual business that you are launching, or that you have been working on that hasn't taken off yet, is going to skyrocket. All right. And you're basically going to get that set amount that you've been wanting to get paid, you know, For those of you that, let's say, you're investing in spiritual tools, spiritual practices, and things of that nature, dedicating, devoting your life, initiating whatever that is for you spiritually with your spiritual gifts, I do see that you are going to get what you pay for. All right. So that can be a hit or miss situation. So I will say it twofold. One fold is you're going to get what you pay for. So make sure you do quality over quantity. Okay. So if something is a bit more to invest in, it is like that for a reason, because that said person has gone through initiation and they've been promoted to, let's say, high priestess, spiritual teacher, spiritual guru, whatever. And that's why their prices are going up higher. It is not just because that person is just, keep going up, keep going. No, it's like the rank is going up higher because what they're delivering to you is of quality, right? So you're getting what you pay for. If you are paying for, let's say, readings and stuff of that nature, or cleansings, or getting taught something, maybe like workshops or something like that, and it seems like it's a steal, but you're not really getting anything, that's why, right? And maybe there's a price that it's probably kind of up there, but you're getting so much out of it. That's what you need. Your spiritual team is not playing. It's like you need to make some changes in regards to your spiritual investments in your spiritual lifestyle, to continue to evolve, because a lot of that caused setbacks previously, and they want you to correct that. Okay. Your final message here for this specific thing. All right. I will say, because I want to talk to you guys about the variety of spiritual gifts that are coming for you. It's going to bring love. It's going to bring family. It's going to bring heartfelt moments. It's going to spark up your imagination. Your intuition is going to be on fire. Okay. When I say on fire, don't think of this as a negative context. Think of this as like, people are going to want to spy on you. People are going to want to know what you're doing next. People are going to be all up in your business. It is going to be a nuisance. Okay. It's going to be hard for you to be around groups of people because your spiritual gifts are developing. Okay. Friendships are going to shift and change. You're going to have more emotional and spiritual friendships versus superficial friendships. You're going to be able to identify a toxic person, a superficial person, someone that is stuck and stagnant in their life because they don't want to practice or believe in a faith. You're going to be able to see, people that like to, misery loves company, right? You're going to be able to identify all those things, and based off of identifying those things, you need to move in a certain type of way. Okay. After your spiritual gift starts opening and you start seeing things, there's no way that you can sit there and cover your eyes and say, well, I didn't see that. I didn't know that. Your spiritual team, your spiritual court, your ancestors are going to be like, I showed you that. I told you that in the dream. I made you feel sick when you were around them. I made you feel, really hurt emotionally, or I triggered you on purpose so that way you can see that this is not supposed to happen over and over again, right? So this is what these gifts are basically telling you, right? How to hold down your spiritual fort, when to hang in there, when you're almost done, when things are just becoming complacent. Okay, they're letting you know these things in different ways, when to revise things. Okay, maybe you got to look at that over again. Maybe you need to review what that relationship is for you, what that contract is for you. Asking for clarification when your spiritual gifts are showing you things is going to be like the best thing. Pausing before reacting as well. All right, let's see what breakthroughs are in motion for you guys. What breakthroughs are in motion? All right, 10. What breakthroughs are in motion? The Ace of Coins. Ooh, all right. A new financial cycle is about to take place. All right. A manifestation is coming in. That's the breakthrough. All right. The manifestation is going to come in this season. Whenever you're watching, it's this season. All right. We have the Wheel of Fortune. All right. Good luck. Expansion. So money is going to start expanding. So you have issues with money. The breakthrough is the money's going to start growing and showing. Okay. You've been going through ups and downs and stuff like that, things that were kind of unpredictable. Now it's almost like you can tell, especially with these spiritual gifts that are developing, you can tell what's about to happen next, right? Nothing's going to catch you by surprise anymore. Some of you guys, again, there's a promotion here. This could be a spiritual promotion. It can also bleed into financial promotions, right? Promotion can look very different for each and every one of you. If you're working for yourself, it's a promotion, then that means that you're getting more clients, you're getting paid higher. Maybe your services, went higher. You're providing lots of different types of services. That can be one-on-one sessions, that can be subscription plans, that can be digital products, physical products. So there's a variety of different income sources that you're going to get, especially if you've increased your prices because your spiritual team told you so, right? And I'm just giving you that indication. If you haven't high-end your prices yet in the past, 3 months or 6 months ago, if your prices didn't go up, then they need to go up. All right. That's what I'm seeing here. There's financial opportunities coming in for those of you that are looking for financial opportunities, looking for employment. I do see that this is coming in soon. And for those of you that are looking to transition from one job to another, one role to another, there's a promotion opportunity here. We have the Knight of Swords. This is a time for you to be ambitious, okay? Your breakthrough is like, there was a time where you were like, oh, I'm just going to sit down. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to be quiet. No, this is a time for you to take action, okay? You're on a mission. Keep it going, all right? No stopping now. So your breakthrough is whatever blockages, whatever obstacles, that road opener, that blockbuster, got it, breakthrough, all right? Now you have to, just as fast as you're thinking with your downloads and stuff like that, with your spiritual omens and stuff, you want to also make sure that you are taking action on that. And if you can't take action on it, then write it down. Like, okay, I have this idea. And then underneath that idea, follow up with, what can I do today to take my first 3 baby steps on this, right? That doesn't mean that you have to complete it all within that week, within that month, right? Even within that year, because sometimes we have really massive, big downloads on like amazing things that we can be doing, and how we can shift our lives. But sometimes, again, with timing, what spiritual what your spiritual team and your ancestors are saying, like, when we tell you you got to do this and you got to do that, or you got to do this with your money, or you got to invest in this and invest in that, sometimes when we take it as, we got to do that right now. If we don't do that right now, oh my gosh, we're going to get in trouble, right? Or sometimes we drag our feet because we don't have, again, the money, or we don't have the resources or the people or whatever, right? And then we get discouraged. They're saying, listen, don't do that. Just baby steps, baby steps. It's okay. They're not saying you have to get everything done in less than 5 hours and then sit down on the couch and then you're there and that's it, right? No, they're not saying that. Your breakthroughs is your baby steps. Your baby steps is your breakthroughs. Having these amazing ideas, having these, spiritual downloads. You need to do this, try working on this next. Maybe this trigger, work on this trigger, work on this trauma, work on this relationship first, right? Work on this memory, right? Work on this goal, work on saving this much money, or work on budgeting this first, or change how much you're spending for this bill first. Little tiny things then start to add up, and then you get the snowball effect, okay? Because that's what I'm seeing here. It's okay for you to be ambitious, but don't sit there and ridicule yourself because you're not getting it done quick enough. Your thoughts are going to come in fast, but taking action, you want to be sure-footed. You want to make sure that you're doing things the right way, right? So that way it can stick moving forward. You are going to be driven to succeed. You just got to be brave enough. You got to believe yourself. You got to defend what you're fighting for. All right. This is the breakthroughs that you're going to be facing. All right. We have the Two of Coins. That's the second time. The Two of Coins and the Hangman came out twice. And that's referencing your spiritual gifts. Okay. So what breakthroughs are emotions? They're spiritual gifts of yours that are going to, now don't worry about it, but I feel like you're going to have more on your plate. Okay. Meaning you're going to have more spiritual responsibility. If you already know that you are spiritually, energetically sensitive, you could be an empath, you could be clairsentient, you could be an energy healer, or if any of those, click, this message is definitely for you. You could just absorb energy, absorb emotions, absorb, people's frustrations and stuff like that. If you know these things about yourself, then you have spiritual priorities now. Your spiritual priorities is like, I have to, non-negotiable, have at least one spiritual bath a week, or non-negotiable, every time I come back from work, I'm very tired, I'm exhausted, I need to go straight into that shower and do my spiritual bath soak or do my spiritual wash, okay, so I can get that energy off of me, right? Sometimes it's not enough to just put the spiritual colognes on. That's like the last step. The spiritual colognes kind of like work on your auric field and like your energetic body, but it doesn't work on, getting like the deep cleansing that you need, right? So time management, managing your time. This is where you're hitting the breakthrough. You're going to have more time to deal with these spiritual priorities, okay? You're going to be able to negotiate time for your spiritual practices, right? With the hangman energy, there's going to be time where, you're going to finally get a break. You're going to finally get a break. That's a breakthrough. That's emotion. You're going to be able to pause, to reflect. You're going to be able to finally let go of something. You're going to finally be able to have a new perspective. You're not still stuck on the same beliefs or misconceptions and stuff like that over and over again. You're going to be able to shift your reality, shift your mindset. All right. We have the Four of Cups here. It's not going to be easy. Some of you guys, yeah, there may be still some disappointments and stuff like that. The Justice card, the Chariot. All right. Breakthroughs, major life changes. 1, 2, 3 major life changes taking place. Okay. From now all the way up to Pisces season. That's the major breakthroughs. Okay. New developments in terms of your finances, new developments in terms of, your mental well-being, mental clarity, breakthrough in terms of the ideas. Like if you had like writer's block or you had some sort of fog there, you couldn't think clearly for some time, or it was just hard for you to get things up and running again. Okay. I see those ideas coming to you. You're making very big decisions. You're having those breakthroughs. Okay. With the Justice card energy, things are going to be balancing out in your favor, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. The Seven of Pentacles, you're going to not only see the money show, but you're going to be able to save it and stack it. All right. I'm seeing that long-term shifts and changes. Things are going to progress. You're not going to hit a wall. You're going to be able to keep going. All right. You're going to be overcoming the trials and regaining back control of your life spiritually, financially, emotionally. The key message here is to maintain your focus. All right. So that way you can remain successful in the next phase. All right. Plan with confidence and move with certainty. The Page of Cups. You guys have a lot of spiritual gifts that are opening up for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and go for the final crow call messages. I'm going to move this over here and I'm going to grab some of these angel messages. All right, we're going to go 10. 1133, 666, Archangel Michael, 239, 22, 444. You're protected. That's the second time I'm telling you protected. 555, 33, 999. Okay. Never compromise on your beliefs for anybody or anything. If you believe in what you believe in, don't allow the enemy, the toxic person, the manipulator, the person that you've been trying to people please, the person that you're trying to keep as a friend, that family member, that co-worker, whoever the fuck it is, do not let them change your belief system. Do not let them change the way you think about your belief system or your traditions or your cultural practices. Okay? Stay focused. You should always stay true to yourself. All right? You have Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. All right? This is an invocation prayer to Archangel Raphael. I now invoke Archangel Raphael to stand in front of us. Please fill us with wholeness and good health. Help us to heal and restore every aspect of our being, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, and physically. Allow us to heal all aspects of ourselves and finally release this emotional baggage. Angel number 111, 1111. Okay, we humbly receive. Thank you, Ashe. All right, let's go for Archangel Michael. Under judgment, currently weighing the souls of all who are involved. We got the justice card. We talked about karma. We talked about how your karma is cleared. So your final crow call message is basically, listen, right now you're not the one in judgment. You're not the one that's getting in trouble. You're not the one that's getting the bad karma and stuff like that. Angel number 1144, right? 111. What is going on right now is that, everybody impacts someone in either a positive or negative way. And it looks like there was a particular toxic person that they're coming forward. They're going to apologize to you or whatever. We got two omens of apology, right? I do feel like, there could be someone in your energy that keeps spying on you or that keeps kind of like checking in on you or something like that. And you've removed yourself from their energy or you removed their energy from you. Okay. Again, you are protected. We have protection here. We have reflection. So in order to continue to protect yourself, you need to reflect on what happened. So that way, you pick up on the patterns. Okay. There are changes taking place in your life. These changes are your spiritual gifts. They're the breakthroughs. They're the things that you're healing. The things that you're working on right now, your spiritual assistance. Again, you're being protected. Okay. With the angel number 22, your angels are encouraging you to find a better balance, a harmony with your decision making. Okay. I do feel like you have the power in your current situation and circumstance to shift things just by your decisions. Okay. Angel number 1133, believe that your higher power is bringing you towards the fantastic results due to your hard work. You've been working hard. What you've been working hard on, because that's what you're about to get results on. All right. You have karmic number 13. 13 came out a couple times. Okay. Blame others and doesn't take any accountability. Does that sound like the toxic person? Right. Yeah. That was the karmic issue at hand over and over again. This person can be controlling, stubborn, constantly negative about all the situations and all the circumstances, and then shifts the blame back on you. All right. Final two messages. Angel number 239, work to increase your frequency. So that was the problem. That's why your spiritual gifts weren't, opening up or developing as quickly as they could have. It was because your frequency, there was issues with balancing your frequencies. Either your frequency, like pay attention to the pattern, right? The frequency would dip and go down, right? And when your frequency would dip and go down, you would have what? More toxic karmic contracts, more toxic people, more third-party influences, spiritual entities and attachments and stuff like that, right? Because your frequency was low. Now, they're saying To do this, to increase your frequency, make a routine: prayer, meditation, spiritual bath, whatever this is, a routine, right? So this means this is a practice. You have to practice this, either every day, once a week, on Sundays, on Fridays, on Mondays, Wednesdays, whatever, pick a day that really flows with you, works with your schedule and your mundane world, but also works for you spiritually. Okay. This will help you raise your vibration. Some of you, it could be Reiki. Like I need to do Reiki at least twice a month and my energy feels great and I'm not dragging myself and I can keep, handling what I need to do in the physical, right? Remember, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. If we do not take care of our spiritual well-being, we're going to start dragging. Okay? We're going to drag ourselves until we start dragging other people, right? That's usually why people become toxic. They become toxic people, right? Because they don't want to correct their ways. They don't want to take accountability and they just want to take everybody down for the harsh ride, right? So raise your vibration. All right. Angel number 33 for your final message. The energies that currently surround you are of inspiration, courage, honesty, and blessings, my love. Okay. So there's no negative vibes or, energies around you. I do feel like there's going to be some encounter with that enemy, but your ancestors said they are an enemy. Don't let them back in. All right. That is all. I will see you guys soon. Peace.